It's the podcast of members, by members, for members. UPMA Today starts now.
Welcome to UPMA Today. I'm Drew Martin. Each year, UPMA climbs the hill, Capitol Hill, that is. Members from chapters across the USA meet face-to-face with their congressional representatives, senators, and their staffs. Working to ensure that our members' voices and concerns are heard, we advocate for legislation we find favorable to our interests and argue against the passage of bills we don't. UPMA members have been instrumental over the years in helping key issues move successfully through Congress. This year will go down in history as one of our most successful ever. The 40-year fight for fairness for federal retirees was won at last, when the Social Security Fairness Act finally became law. UPMA thanked members of Congress who supported our efforts and recognized our own champions who led the long charge to make this happen.
The first thing we did is we developed a challenge coin to give all the members of Congress that had supported us on this issue. And then we recognized individuals on the retiree legislative team and other members of our organization that really worked hard. They were constantly keeping it as a issue right on the forefront and making sure that they kept it as a focus. And it's hard to do that when you've been walking for the same item for decades. But they did. We got over the finish line, so we want to make sure we gave them some really good recognition.
I have worked on it for 43 years. Wow. And finally we got it signed.
When you come with a big group and you come down to Washington, you go meet with everybody and you talk to your senators, talk to your congressmen. When you go back home, they know who you are.
Well, we just put a lot of time and effort into communicating the message to our elected officials about the unfairness of the penalty.
Just because you were a civil service postal worker, if your spouse passed away, you were entitled to nothing. Didn't make a difference that somebody else never worked, they were entitled to it, but because you worked for the federal government or the postal service, you received nothing. It was a penalty that was took away a right that we had to those Social Security funds. That spouse paid into that Social Security with the hopes that the surviving spouse would collect that, and now this has been corrected.
Not any one individual, a group of us, many organizations, UPMA being one of them certainly, that worked for years and years and years on getting this legislation corrected that was created back in the 80s. And to have the smiles on people's faces, to see the relief that they're feeling, to know that now that they truly have what was rightfully theirs, it's a wonderful feeling.
We helped a lot more people than just postal people.
Right, absolutely. You have firefighters, school teachers, a lot of people that were civil service employees that were paying into the federal retirement system.
And their families.
Yes, absolutely.
It was 3.2 million people were affected by this. And now everybody's getting just what they're owed. We're not getting anything extra, it's just what we're owed.
After a few years, in hearing the stories of our members, it began to sink into me. Okay, this is really a big deal for these people, and it became real. Every year, when you go to the legislative conference, one of the things we've got to talk about is the same thing over and over and over again. It became like the norm. It's the way life is, the way life's going to be.
I began to doubt whether it would ever happen, but then we'd get close to the finish line once in a while.
Yeah. And when we started getting so close this year, I thought, this is kind of exciting. This may actually happen. And that motivates you to try to encourage people, even people who are not associated with the Postal Service or with UPMA.
When I came along, I just inherited it and talked about it and passed it along, and then couldn't figure out why Congress never did agree with us. That was the thing. It was just, but I had it down pat when I go in there to talk to Congressman.
It has been a 40-year fight for fairness. The best thing about it is some of those little old gray-headed ladies that were in level 11 offices have called and said, Deborah, I won the lottery. Deborah, I can buy this. Deborah, I can buy that. You can't change that feeling. It's been worth everything, and this is a celebration.
They get a lump sum going back to January 2024. And then from this point on, their checks will be increased by some of them up to $1,000 a month. That, when you're retired, can be life-changing. So it's a real big win for the organization and even a bigger win for our members.
For anybody that doesn't know, some people are now collecting on their husbands' or wives' death benefit that they couldn't collect.
Yeah.
Some people were penalized because they earned their quarters, and now they can collect their full Social Security. But for many people that were civil service employees that have been retired a while, this is life-changing as far as them being able to pay their bills and enjoy life.
So not only did they get some back earned dollars, but going forward, they're going to see that Social Security check larger than it was before. Again, nothing that they didn't deserve, nothing they didn't earn, nothing more than anybody else, but truly something that they rightfully earned back as a civil service retiree.
We had an elderly lady who was passing away, and she was not getting any funds. And she said how it affected her life.
She was terminally ill.
Yeah, she was terminally. And it affected her life because she basically had to move in with her daughter, was living on very basic terms. And she brought to light how it was affecting many of this widowers. That's really where the effect was.
Yeah.
That they had nothing. All of a sudden, like Mike said, they had nothing. And this bill, once it was passed, now, yes, us collecting Social Security did get a jump, but it's the survivors and the spouses that it really affects.
We had a postmaster on Long Island whose husband was self-employed, and he just, several months after he retired, she lost his Social Security. He paid as the owner of the business and also as the employer of the business, so he was paying twice, and she lost it all. Now she's getting that money back.
How does that make you feel?
It made us feel
fantastic.
great.
Fantastic.
I've heard many talk about the fact that they've lost a spouse, and now they're getting some relief from that and all. So it's incredible. And I have to applaud Social Security for the administration and the quick work they did.
Glad you're a part of it?
I am glad I'm a part of it. I also reap the benefit of it because I'm drawing Social Security now. I'm not a civil service, but my wife's civil service. So when I applied for civil service, when I turned 66 and a half, yes, I am that old. We were told she would not collect it because her civil service annuity was more than her spousal benefits off my Social Security. Now the law has changed, and it's helpful. It's extremely helpful.
I have heard from so many people that's been totally just blown out of the water after receiving a look at their checking account and seeing a huge deposit, and all the way to some that didn't even know what it was about and thought that there was something wrong with their account, that they received this, and they were just elated. And one lady, 88 years old, talked to her, and she thought that that's what she was going to get. She had been reading about Social Security fairness, but thought that the amount that was in her account was all she was going to get. And when I told her that, no, that's just a back payment from 2024, that she's going to start receiving a payment every month, she's happy. And then there's another person that was stretched every penny that they had and was wondering about how to pay some bills that they had, and this money was deposited in their account, and now said, I've got my life back. I can live again.
In 1988, my first trip up here, I came with a group that had a little bitty lady from a level 11 office. At the time we finished our postal talks, they said, "Young lady, why are you still working?" And she said, "Well, I'm a widow. I get $1,000 of my husband's Social Security. When I retire, my paycheck drops in half, my insurance goes up, and I don't get that $1,000 anymore." First time I ever heard about something called GPO or WIP.
Yeah.
It wasn't personal until 7 years ago when I became a widow. I paid my 40 quarters in. I got $121 of Social Security a month of my own Social Security. I did not get one penny of my husband's Social Security because GPO impacted me.
And nothing changed except that the government finally recognized the fact that these people deserved this money all along.
Exactly. I can't tell you how many people have come up to me and said, "Oh, I spoke with you," and thanked me for getting that information out to people. It's a fantastic feeling.
I became affected by it because of my friends, my peers, that kind of thing. Instead of getting no Social Security, they were getting over $1,000 worth of Social Security. So it's just been an exciting time for them.
But fortunately, I was not in that group that happened to, but my friends were. So it was important for me to help them, and they're just thrilled to death. And I'm so glad for them because, UPMA is my family.
In 1982, we were talking about Social Security fairness then, and we've been talking about Social Security fairness every year since then. And so persistence, talking to our representatives, and more or less informing them of even the process that they were even on. And they were under the same retirement benefits on Social Security that we had, and so they finally recognized it.
Why did it take so long to fix it?
It's politics. It wasn't a bill that scored well with the Congressional Management Budget Office. It cost the company money, or it cost the country some money, and in the environment that we're in, a lot of the politicians don't want to be voting for bills to spend more money. But ultimately, we got it through to them about the inequity that the system was designed in.
We're just the ones passing on the message. We know the message. We know how to get it out there. We put it through all our social media, and everybody just responded so quickly. And with all the other organizations involved, there were many. We all came together. We hit the hill, each one right after the other. So the congressmen and senators were hearing what we had to say, and we had great support. They told us it was impossible, but it wasn't. It got done. So nothing is impossible.
What got us across the finish line?
I really don't know, other than just perseverance. And just every time we went in there, I think we had other issues that they would talk about, and we were supposed to talk about, so I don't tell any of the bosses or anything. But I'd always go back to that one. And I know we had other bills that we had to pass, but I never let it go by, never left their office without telling them. And I'm sure other people did too. And it just happened, I guess, to be the best time, and I'm so glad.
People are having opportunities to really enjoy their retirement the way they should. So very proud of the organization for helping push that over the finish line. It's a good thing. It's anytime we can recognize our members, it's great. But the real big winners out of this are the thousands of retirees in our organization that are now getting what they rightfully deserve. And that's something that we all should be proud of, because it changed a lot of people's lives out there.
Way to go, guys.
Thank you.
UPMA will continue to make its annual trek up Capitol Hill to be certain that Congress understands and supports our members' needs. Join us again soon as UPMA Today showcases highlights from our national convention in Dallas and shares some of the thoughts and takeaways of members who were in attendance there at the National. Thanks for joining us. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and/or leave a comment. And if you will, please share this video with your postal family. For the UPMA Communications team, I'm Drew Martin. We'll see you soon.
UPMA Today is produced by the members of the United Postmasters and Managers of America. Check out episodes on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. For more information or to join UPMA, go to www.unitedpma.org.